The 2025 NFL Draft is in the books, and if there's one thing that's clear, it's that the AFC North continues to be one of the most competitive, well-run divisions in football. Every team came into this draft with different priorities. The Ravens looking to reload, the Browns trying to build around a sneaky strong core, the Bengals in desperate need of a spark, and the Steelers simply doing what they've always done, drafting with grit and precision. But not all draft classes are created equal. Some teams found steals, while others left fans scratching their heads. In this video, we're grading each AFC North team's draft haul, analyzing the big hits, the questionable decisions, and what these classes mean for the future of the division. Whether you're a diehard fan or just trucking the offseason winners and losers, this breakdown is for you. So buckle up, because the AFC North didn't hold back in April. Before we fully get into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out and ensures you don't miss any of my upcoming NFL division draft grades. I've already covered 2 divisions, and there's plenty more on the way. When evaluating the Baltimore Ravens 2025 draft class, I have no hesitation in giving them a solid A grade. This year's haul not only addressed some key roster needs, but also showed smart value picks that can pay dividends immediately and down the line. What stood out most to me was the Ravens' balance between grabbing impact players and adding depth, which speaks to the front office's clear vision and preparation. Starting with their first round pick, selecting safety Malachi Starks from Georgia was a fantastic move. Even though he went late in the first round, many analysts and draft experts have praised him as a high-level talent with excellent instincts and versatility. Pairing him alongside Kyle Hamilton gives Baltimore a potential safety duo that can lock down opposing passing attacks and elevate the defense as a whole. It's exactly the kind of player they needed to secure in this draft. Then, in the second round, the Ravens capitalized on a great value pick with edge rusher Mike Green. While there might have been some concerns that caused him to slip, his on-field production and pass rushing ability make him a player who could immediately help the defense and develop into a key contributor. This type of calculated risk shows the Ravens' confidence in their scouting and player development. Beyond the top rounds, Baltimore didn't just rest on those picks. They wisely addressed offensive line depth to better protect Lamar Jackson and took steps to reinforce their special teams unit, especially at kicker. A move that should not be overlooked given recent uncertainties there. Overall, the Ravens draft strikes me as a smart, well-rounded class that blends immediate impact with thoughtful long-term planning. Many professionals agree this was a strong draft, but in my view, Baltimore's front office executed at an elite level, and that's why I'm giving them an A. However, when evaluating the Cincinnati Bengals' 2025 NFL draft class, I find it challenging to award them a higher grade than a D. While the team made selections to address various positions, several aspects of their strategy raised concerns. The first-round pick, Shedeur Sanders, a defensive end from Texas A&M, stands out as a significant gamble. Despite his impressive physical attributes, Stewart's college production was underwhelming, with only 4.5 sacks over 3 seasons. This lack of proven performance at the collegiate level makes his selection at number 17 overall questionable. Additionally, Stewart is expected to miss time due to contract issues, further delaying his potential impact on the field. This situation underscores a pattern where the Bengals' reluctance to invest in higher value positions may have led them to take unnecessary risks. Beyond the first round, the Bengals' draft picks appear to lack immediate impact. Selections like linebacker Demetrius Knight Jr., offensive guard Dylan Fairchild, and running back Taj Brooks fill positions of need but don't seem poised to make any significant contributions in the upcoming season. With the team's salary cap constraints, particularly after securing long-term deals for key players, the Bengals needed to find cost-effective role players who could step in and contribute immediately. Unfortunately, this draft class doesn't seem to fulfill that requirement. In summary, while the Bengals addressed some roster needs, the lack of immediate impact players and the questionable first-round pick lead me to grade their 2025 draft as a D. The team missed an opportunity to strengthen their roster effectively, potentially hindering their competitiveness in the upcoming season. While the Bengals draft was rather lackluster, the Cleveland Browns walk away from the 2025 NFL draft with a B+ grade in my book. Their draft class had a strong, balanced foundation with clear value picks, and while not every move was perfect, the upside is too high to ignore. Mason Graham at 5th overall was a smart and safe pick. He's the kind of dominant interior force that can anchor a defensive line for the next decade. Pair that with linebacker Carson Schlesinger in the second round, who plays with high IQ and tenacity, and you've got a defense that instantly got faster, stronger, and more physical. Then they doubled down on the offensive talent with Quinshon Judkins at running back and Harold Fannin Jr. at tight end, both of whom bring explosiveness and production without having to be immediate stars. But the quarterback strategy is where this draft gets a little muddy. Taking Dillon Gabriel in the third round felt like a solid, if unspectacular move. He's experienced, polished, and dependable. But just 2 rounds later, Shedeur Sanders fell right into their lap, and the Browns didn't hesitate. It's hard to overstate how shocking it was to see Sanders drop to the 5th round. He was projected by many to go on day 1. That kind of fall wasn't something Cleveland could have anticipated, so while spending a third on Gabriel now looks unnecessary, it's hard to blame them for grabbing him when they did. Still, in hindsight, it feels like a wasted pick, especially since Sanders now becomes the clear developmental priority. Despite that one misstep, the overall draft execution was sharp. The Browns added depth and upside across the board, checked off big roster needs, and took a legitimate swing at finding a quarterback of the future. The draft room didn't get everything right, but the value they pulled in, especially with Sanders, was enough to elevate the entire class to a strong B+. Just slightly beating the Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers earned an A- for their 2025 draft. And it's easy to see why when you break down what they accomplished across all 7 rounds. This was a draft that stayed true to the franchise identity, building from the trenches, playing physical defense, and reinforcing depth with upside at key positions. In the first round, they snagged Derek Harmon, a dominant defensive tackle out of Oregon. He's powerful, disruptive, and will immediately help anchor the middle of that front alongside Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton. That alone makes the first round a home run. They followed that up by grabbing Iowa running back Caleb Johnson in the third, which quietly might be one of the smartest picks they made. With Najee Harris gone, Johnson brings early down power and a fresh gear out of the backfield that can pair well with Jaylen Warren. The 4th and 5th round picks were all about reinforcing their defensive rotation, adding edge rusher Jack Sawyer and nose tackle Yaya Black. Neither is flashy, but both are physical, high-effort players who fit the Steelers' mold and could end up seeing meaningful snaps this year. Will Howard in the 6th round adds quarterback depth, though his ceiling isn't sky high. Still, at that stage in the draft, it's a low-risk pick. And in the 7th, Carson Bruiner and Dante Kent give you special teams depth with long-shot defensive upside. This class didn't have any huge reaches, and more importantly, it added immediate contributors without losing sight of future development. They didn't take a big swing at quarterback like some thought they might, especially with Shedeur Sanders still on the board late, but what they did was methodical, well-executed, and tailored to win now. A strong physical class, worthy of an A-. So, there you have it, the full breakdown of AFC North's 2025 draft classes. The Ravens showed why they're one of the best run organizations in the league with a clean, balanced A. The Browns got aggressive and mostly hit, landing a B+ with real upside. The Steelers, always physical and focused, delivered another tough, smart draft that earns them an A-. And then, the Bengals. Let's just say they've got some explaining to do. But now, I want to hear from you. Drop your draft grades in the comments. Do you agree with mine? Who do you think was the biggest steal of the draft? And which rookie from the AFC North will have the biggest impact this season? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. We've got training camp previews, player rankings, and full season predictions coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.